Good morning students, my name is Nikita and I am from the Bodhi Academy. Today we are going to solve the science paper from 10th standard Rajhans Preparatory, that is set 4. Okay, we are going to solve all the questions from the paper. Now when we talk about the science 10th standard paper, we always need to know that while solving the paper we need to keep some points in mind. That is, while solving we have to always think about the answers in a scientific point of view. We might know the answers or the reasons to the questions, but we need to frame them in a scientific point of view. That is very much important. Okay, so let's start. Now we are going to solve the entire paper from the first question to the last question. Now first of all, there are MCQs. Okay, question number 1 to 15 are MCQs. So we'll start with the paper. Now the first question is the reaction in which one reactant gets oxidized and the other one gets oxidized while the other one gets reduced. Which is this reaction? A combination, decomposition, redox or displacement reaction. We know that one reactant getting oxidized and the other getting reduced. This is a redox reaction. Okay, so the first answer is a redox reaction. Now let's go to the second one. The stakeholders who want to conserve the forest are, now when we say stakeholders, okay, stakeholders who just want to conserve the forest, they do not have any other interest from the forest. The local people, forest department, industrialists, wildlife and nature enthusiasts. The correct option over here is wildlife and nature enthusiasts. Now the third one, the gas released when metal reacts with hydrochloric acid. Okay, we know that when a metal reacts with hydrochloric acid, the gas released is a hydrogen gas. Okay, the next question, one of the following does not contribute to acid rain. Okay, now we have to see which ones contribute to acid rain over here. We know that CO2, carbon dioxide gas, yes, it is a greenhouse gas. Nitrogen monoxide, yes. Sodium oxide, NaO, we have never heard about this, right? And the last option, sulfur dioxide, it is also a greenhouse gas. So the correct option over here which does not contribute to acid rain is sodium oxide. Okay, now the next question is, which of the following elements produce a basic oxide on reacting with oxygen? Okay, now we know that over here there are metals and non-metals. Okay, phosphorus, sodium, chlorine, sulfur. We know that the reactions of oxygen with metal will produce a metal oxide, and metal oxides are basic oxides, whereas non-metallic oxides are acidic oxides. So phosphorus is a non-metal, sodium is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal and sulfur is a non-metal. So the correct option over here is sodium. Okay, now the next question, between which 2 points of a concave mirror should an object be placed to obtain a magnification of +3? Okay, now the mirror over here is concave mirror. Okay, concave mirror is this mirror, right? Now +3 is a high magnification. +3, okay, +3 means first of all the image is magnified to +3. Okay, in this case the image will be enlarged virtual erect. Now we need to remember that in which cases when the object is placed at which position the image will be magnified. Okay, at the focus, no. Then beyond C, no. Between F and C, no. It is between P and F. So the correct option is between P and F. Okay, now the next option is, the next question is gustatory receptors detect dash, the taste, smell, sound, touch. We know that gustatory receptors detect taste. Okay, smell, olfactory receptors, this is auditory receptors, sound, and touch is sensory receptors. So the correct option is taste. Okay, the next question, the magnetic field lines near a The magnetic field near a long straight wire is described by what? Okay, now how is the magnetic field of a straight wire represented? Okay, the magnetic field of a straight wire is represented by concentric circles, right? So the correct option is option number 4, concentric circles centered on the wire. Okay, an alloy which does not contain copper. Okay, bronze contains copper, brass is also containing copper, bell metal also contains copper. The correct option is solder, okay, which is not containing copper. Okay, now the next question is, at the time of a short circuit, the current in the circuit, what happens to the current in the circuit? Okay, the current increases, decreases, remains the same. It reduces substantially, does not change, increases heavily, varies continuously. What is the main principle of short circuiting? Short circuit happens because of increased current. Okay, so the correct option is increases heavily. Okay, now the letter F is placed in front of a mirror. The phenomena observed is in front of a plane mirror. Very important, in front of a plane mirror. Okay, we have to remember the properties of the image produced by the plane mirror. Okay, the properties are, it is of the same size, it is from the same distance as in front of the mirror, and very important, the image is laterally inverted. So refraction is by lenses, dispersion is by prism, scattering is also by prism. So the correct option is plane mirror shows the phenomena of lateral inversion. Okay, the next question. Sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide are produced by the decomposition of dash. Lead nitrate does not contain sulfur, so no. Ferrous sulfate, it contains sulfur. Calcium carbonate, no. And silver sulfate also contains sulfur, but FeSO4, okay, FeSO4 on decomposition it produces Fe2O3 plus SO2 and SO3 and SO2, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. This is a decomposition reaction. So the correct option is ferrous sulfate. Now, question number 13. Identify the unsaturated compound from the following. What do you mean by unsaturated compound? It means that the compounds containing double and triple bond. Okay, butane contains single bond. The ones which have A and E as the suffix all contains a single bond. Okay, so butane, ethane, pentane, they all contain single bond. So now we have butane which is containing a triple bond. Okay, so the correct option is butane. The ancient water harvesting practiced in Rajasthan. Okay, bandaras and ahars, tal and bandaras, tanks and kattas. The correct option is tanks and nadis. Okay, the correct option is tanks and nadis. So here we end the solution of all the MCQs. Now we move on to the next part, that is name the following and correlation part. Okay. For the name of the following, I will write the answers in the paper itself. Name the following: hydrocarbon having single bond between the carbon atoms. Okay, we have just discussed. The one with single bond, they are called as saturated hydrocarbon. So the correct answer is saturated hydrocarbon. Next, the only source of energy on earth. Very easy. The only source of energy on earth is the sun. Okay. Now, observe the correlation in the first pair and complete the second pair. Okay. Potential difference. Now, over here we need to know that what is the meaning of correlation. You have to observe the correlation between the first two and accordingly write the relation of the option given to you. So the first correlation is potential difference. The SI unit of potential difference is volt. So over here we understand that the correlation talks about the SI unit. So now there is a mistake in this set. This is not change, this is charge. Okay, so the SI unit of charge is, we know that the SI unit of charge is coulomb. Okay, the SI unit of charge is coulomb. Now next is cranial nerves, brain. Okay, peripheral nerves, dash. So what do we understand here? Means cranial nerves are present inside the brain. Where are the peripheral nerves present? We know that peripheral nerves make up the spinal cord. Okay, so the answer over here is spinal cord. Okay, the next question. This is a question. When do we consider a student sitting in a class to be myopic? Okay, now we need to remember, we need to know what is myopia, okay, to answer this question. Student sitting in a class, this is talking about the student sitting in a class, so we have to say that the student sitting in the class is not able to see the distant objects, okay, but can see the uh, nearby objects clearly. Okay, so for question number 19A, is not able to see okay, so we understand that um, the defect over here is myopia. Okay, list two causes of this defect. What are the causes? Why is this defect caused? Okay, there are only two causes given in the textbook. The first cause is excessive curvature of the eye lens. And second one is elongation of the eyeball. Okay, so 19th question is done. There are 2 marks for this question, 1 mark for the first one, 1 mark for the second one. Now the 20th question. In the chemical reaction given below, ZnO, okay, zinc oxide reacts with carbon to form zinc and carbon dioxide. Okay, this is the chemical reaction given over here. What you have to see is you have to identify the oxidizing agent. Okay, so first we will just write the reaction again. ZnO plus carbon, zinc. Now what kind of reaction is this? This is a redox reaction. Okay, we will write what is getting reduced and what is getting oxidized over here. Zinc oxide is getting reduced and carbon is getting oxidized. Okay, identify the oxidizing agent. So which is the oxidizing agent over here? The one which is getting reduced is the oxidizing agent. So zinc oxide is the oxidizing agent over here, zinc oxide. Now the one which is getting, okay, the substance which is oxidized, what is oxidized over here? Carbon is oxidized, so C is oxidized. Now the next question is balance the above equation. Okay, now how it is not balanced? Zinc 1 molecule, 1 atom, zinc 1 atom, oxygen 1 atom, oxygen 2 atoms, carbon 1, carbon 1. So oxygen is the one which is different. So 2, right? So to make this 2, what I have to do is I have to make this also 2. So I will put a 2 over here. Okay, now when this is 2 atoms, zinc also gets 2 atoms. So this over here also it should be 2. So this is the balanced equation. 2Z ZNO plus carbon gives you 2. This is the balanced equation. Now the next question is, draw a scientifically correct diagram of open stomatal pore and label the guard cells and chloroplast. Okay, so diagrams are important. This carries 2 marks. When you talk about diagrams, 2 things are important: clean drawn diagrams, and second one is labeling of the diagram is very important. Okay, so I'll just draw a rough diagram over here. You all have to study the proper diagram from the textbook. Question number 21. Okay. So these are the guard cells. Okay, and this is the open stomatal pore. So these 2 are the guard cells, and over here this is the chloroplast. Okay, and this is the open stomatal pore, but what you are asked to mark is guard cells and chloroplast. So this is question 21. So diagram is done. Now next part. Next question. Extraction of metals from their ores involves various steps. Write one difference between roasting and calcination. Okay, so you have to write only one difference between roasting and calcination. What is roasting? We know that these 2 methods are the ones which are used for extraction of metals from their ore. Okay, so what is roasting and what is calcination, that we have to write. Remember that always while writing the differences, we have to write the differences making a column. Okay, the correct method of writing a differences is making a column and writing the differences in point wise. Okay, if you write it in this way, like on top calcination, bottom roasting, it doesn't show the comparison properly, but this is the correct way of writing the differentiations. Calcination. Now what a calcination? Calcination is the one which is used to extract the metals from carbonate. Okay, and roasting is extract metals from sulfide ores. Okay, so 1 point is enough, as only 1 point is asked. Now the next is, the metals high up in the reactivity series cannot be obtained by heating with carbon. Why? Okay, now we know that there is a reactivity series when there are the extraction of metals of in the reactivity series. At each part it is different. High up in the reactivity series, they are the highly reactive elements. Okay, highly reactive metals, so they cannot be obtained by heating with carbon because they have a very high affinity for oxygen and they react with oxygen easily. So they cannot be obtained by heating alone with carbon. while writing the reasons we have to mention the complete reasons. Okay, so the answer is, as the metals are strongly reactive and it has a very high affinity for oxygen. Okay, so this is the reason it is not able to we cannot use carbon for its extraction. Okay, so the next question is question number 23a. 23 statement is, Sita on suddenly seeing a cobra got scared. Her heartbeats increased and her face turned pale. Okay, now over here match the pair is given, column A and column B. Column A, adrenaline, thyroxine, means these are the hormones, and column B, these are the functions of the hormones. Adrenaline maintains sugar level in the body, releases growth hormone, makes the body ready in scary situation, maintains fat and carbohydrate metabolism. Okay, so we know that the correct option for adrenaline over here relation is makes the body ready in scary situation. So over here the option is 1. Okay, thyroxine, we know that it is maintains fat and carbohydrate metabolism, so D is the correct option. Now, why did her heart beat increase on seeing the cobra? Okay, we get the answer over here only actually. If we know the first question, we can half of the second question also will be solved if we know the first one. This is because in a scary situation, in a adrenaline hormone is released into the blood, which targets the heart to beat faster okay. Why? Because to pump more oxygen to the muscle cells to provide energy. Okay, so this is the reason. Now 24, consider the following food chain and answer the questions given below. Paddy, grasshopper, frog, snake. Now when we consider a food chain, we know that each food chain each is called as a trophic level. Okay, this is the producer, this is the primary consumer, this is secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. Okay, so first question is, name the secondary consumer in the above food chain. Now what is the secondary consumer? Second one. This is the primary consumer, so the frog is the secondary consumer. Why is the flow of energy said to be unidirectional? Very important. Okay, in a food chain we know that the energy is passed on from the first trophic level to the next trophic level, and it is never reversed back. Okay, so the flow is always okay. So for this reason the flow of energy is unidirectional, it's only in one direction. Okay, now we go to question number 25. Name the following. The development of new species from the existing one due to reproductive isolation of a part of its population. Okay, what it is called, what is the process called when there are formation of new species? We know that the process is speciation. Okay, next is an animal which can change its sex, its gender. Okay, now when we talk about this, we know that in humans it is gender is genetically determined, and there is one organism mentioned in a textbook that the gender changes with temperature, okay, or other factors. One of the organism is snail. Okay, now how do trait gets expressed? How do traits get expressed? Traits are characteristics. How are they expressed? They are expressed by the DNA present inside the nucleus of the cell, which controls the formation of the traits. Cellular DNA, it is translated into proteins. Okay, which control the traits. Okay, so this was question number 25. Now the next question is question number 26. What you will get in the F1 and the F2 generations in the following cross? Okay, so over here we have to see the F1 and F2 generation using the Mendel's cross. The the parent generation given over here is pure tall pea plant and pure dwarf pea plant. Okay, so let's do this. Question number 26. Okay, so first of all we need to write the P, that is parent generation. Okay, then T crossed with small t and small t. This is for the pure tall plant, and this is for pure dwarf plant. Okay, now the gametes over here will be only one type, T, right, and over here also it will be only one type, small t. Okay, now we need to see the F1 generation, the first generation after crossing. So F1 generation, this combines together. So T, T, capital T, small t. In this we found out that the capital T is the dominant trait and small t is the recessive trait, right? So this will be tall. This is for tall plants. Okay. Now to find out the F2 generation, we cross the progeny of the F1 generation, self breeding, okay, self pollination. So both the parents are the same, and over here we will have two kinds of gametes for both. This will be capital T, dwarf, okay. Now combine one, this combines with this T, T. Second one combines with the first one again, T, T. Okay. Now first one with the okay. So this is, now let us look at the ratio. T, T, both T's are this thing. So this is tall plant. This is like the parent one. So this is also a tall. This is tall because all three have dominant character. But this one, okay, this is not carrying any dominant character. This is the dwarf plant. Okay. So for this we have 3 tall and 1 dwarf. So the ratio of tall to dwarf is 3:1. This is the ratio. So we have to answer for F1 generation. While answering, see, first of all, you can't write the final answer. You have to perform the whole cross, okay? And secondly, now when you answer, you have to mention the answers properly. You just can't do the cross and leave it for a teacher to decide, okay? So for F1 generation, the plants are all tall plants. The answer will be written as all tall plants. Okay, and the thing is T, T. Okay. Then F2 generation, you have to say that tall to dwarf ratio plants is 3:1. Okay, so this is how you answer this question. Now the next question is 27th A. An indicator is added to potassium hydroxide and the solution turns pink. Okay, what is potassium hydroxide? It is KOH. It is a base. Okay, it is a base. Now indicator is the one which indicates the acidity or the basicity of the particular substance. The indicator is, you have to know the indicator. So when you add the indicator, it turns pink, right? It turns pink. So which is this indicator? On adding to a base, the base turns pink. The indicator, it is a very famous indicator, it is phenolphthalein. Okay, now what is the color you will observe if you add methyl orange to the solution? Now which solution they are talking? They are talking about potassium hydroxide solution. Okay, so in this, now if you are adding methyl orange, okay, methyl orange, on adding to a base, it turns yellow. So the answer over here is yellow. Okay, the question here, next question 27b. Acid must always be added to slowly to water with constant stirring. Okay, acid must always be added slowly to water with constant stirring. Give two reasons. Okay, two reasons are asked over here. So first of all, we need to know that why is acid added to water and not water to acid. 7b. Okay, acid is always added to water because addition of acid to water, it is a it heats up the, okay, first of all, when you, if you add water to acid, okay, that reaction is a highly exothermic reaction, and it can make the beaker heat up and it can break. So always acid is added to water, okay, with constant stirring, because of the local heating, of the mixture makes it to splash out and cause burns. This is the first reason. Second reason is that it can even break the beaker if you add directly. Okay, so acid is added to water slowly and with constant stirring. Okay, next is a diagram. Draw a neat, scientifically correct diagram showing the longitudinal section of a flower and label the stigma and the sepals. Okay, this is a very famous diagram, very common diagram, which is usually asked, frequently asked in the Goa board Goa board papers. Okay, so I'm drawing a rough diagram over here, and I'll just show a schematic one wherein you need to know what you have to draw first. Okay, first of all, you start with the female reproductive part. Which is the female reproductive part? The stigma, style and ovary. Okay, the pistil, the stigma, style, and then you draw the ovary. Okay, and over here you have to show the ovules. Okay, once you draw this, then next you have to draw the male reproductive part. Okay, the filament, and the anther. Okay, and then you draw the petals. Okay, so once this is done, then very important are the sepals. Okay, this is a very schematic diagram. We have to draw using a ruler, a pencil. okay, using a pencil in the paper, the exam. Now, what are the markings? Label the stigma and the sepal. Okay. Where is the stigma? This is the stigma, and these are the sepals. Okay, so this is the flower. Now this is question number 28 is done. The next one is question number 29. Okay, observe the figure of a biogas plant and answer the questions given below. Name the part. Okay, now what is this figure? This figure is a biogas plant, right? Biogas digester. Okay, now the this question is name the part labeled A. Now what is labeled A? This one. Okay, now what is this? This is a digester. Okay, so answer over here is digester. The slurry left behind. What is left behind? The slurry is considered as an excellent manure. Why? Now, for to become a manure, the very important nutrients it should have is nitrogen and phosphorus. Okay, so we have to write over here is that because it contains large amount of nitrogen and phosphorus. Okay, or it is rich in. Okay, the next question. Now from here there are options for the questions, but I will be solving both. You have to solve any one. You can solve two, but then to save time you can solve any one, and if there is time left then we can solve maybe both. Okay, but to save time in the paper it is good to solve only one. Okay, the 30th question, option first option. A compound which is prepared from gypsum has the property of hardening when mixed with a proper quantity of water. Identify the compound and write its chemical formula. Okay, now what is this compound? It hardens. A compound which is prepared from gypsum and it hardens after water is added. Okay, now what is this? This is plaster of Paris. This is plaster of Paris, and the formula is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Okay, 30A. CaSO4 point half H2O. What is this half H2O? These are the water of crystallization. So it is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hemi means half, no? So that's why it is hemihydrate. Second one, mention any one use of the compound. We know that this plaster of Paris very common use. Even if you don't study, we all know that it is easier to remember. It is used to support the fractured bones. Used to support the fractured bones. Okay, now I'm going to solve the second option. The sour and bitter taste of food items are due to acids and bases present in them. Name the acid which causes pain and irritation when a honeybee stings you. Okay, which is this acid? This acid is methanoic acid. Okay, The acid over here is methanoic acid. Name the mild base which gives release when applied on this area. Now what is the mild base which can be used? Very common, very famous, it is baking soda, which is available in the kitchens. Okay, mention one use of bleaching powder. Okay, bleaching powders are used in the cotton and linen industry for bleaching clothes. Okay, it is used for bleaching of cotton and linen. Okay, now we come to 31st question. Okay, these questions are the ones which from the chapter light. Okay, and these are numericals, so we have to be careful while solving the questions. Now over here, one thing we need to know, that you have to know which is your strength, the reflection part or the refraction part. Okay, because there is option, the paper pattern shows that there is an option between the refraction part and the reflection part, the mirror and the lenses. So first of all, you need to remember, you need to understand what is your strength. So you do not waste time in doing both, and you do the ones which is your strength and you get the correct answer. Okay, I will be solving both. So first of all, this is a problem, numerical. An object 2 centimeter high is placed at a distance of 16 centimeter from a concave mirror which produces a real image 3 centimeter high. Okay, so while solving the question, very important first of all is to write down what is given. Okay, 31st question. So the mirror, first of all write which mirror it is. The mirror they have said is a concave mirror. Okay, then I'll just write all the values, all the which they have to give, u, v, f, then h and h dash. U is the object distance. What is given over there? An object 2 centimeter high is placed at a distance of 16 centimeter. So the object distance is minus 16 centimeter. Now why minus? Because it is a concave. Object distances are always on the left, right? And this is negative, this is positive. Okay, below is negative and top is positive. This you have to remember. Then this is minus 16. Object 2 centimeter high, 2 centimeter high object. So this is the height of the object, that is h, 2 centimeter. Produces a real image. It is given over there, it is a real image, right? So real means it is an inverted image. Inverted image means it is on the below the principal axis, and below the principal axis means it will have a negative convention, and it is 3 centimeter high. So h dash is minus 3 centimeter. What do you have to find? What is the position of the image? You have to find the position of the image. Okay, now let us see how we can find. Okay, so we have u, we have the h dash h, we have v. So we know that magnification is minus v upon u, and there is one more formula for magnification, h dash upon h. So when we equate both these formulas, let's see what values we have. We have h dash, that is minus 3, we have h, that is 2, then we have minus v, we have to find out, and u we have as minus 16. So the answer, so we can solve this, right? Minus 3 into minus 16 upon 2, that is minus v. Okay, so this will be minus v is equals to 48 upon 2, which comes to 24 centimeter, and it will take its minus sign. So this is 24 centimeter. So the image distance we found as minus 24 centimeter. Okay, now let's see what's the next question. What is the focal length of the mirror? You have to find f now. Okay, you have to find f. So we know that the focal length, for the focal length we can now use the mirror formula, that is 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon v plus 1 upon u. So this will be, we know that 1 upon v is minus 24 plus u is minus 16. Okay, so this is minus 16 plus minus 24, and this is 24 into okay, now 16 plus minus 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 plus. Okay, so this will be 6 4 10 30 okay, and 24 into 16 384. Okay, and this carries a minus sign. Now we know that this is 1 upon f, but we want f, so this will be 384 upon 40. Okay, 10 11 30. Okay. Now we have to solve this, so this will have a minus sign. 2 4 tens are 4 8s are 32 36 6 are 24 96 upon 10, this will be 9.6 centimeter minus 9.6 centimeter. So the focal length also we found out. Okay, so the final answer should be the image distance is minus 24 centimeter and the focal length of the concave mirror is minus 9.6 centimeter. Okay, now the next one is the lenses. A boy places an object perpendicular to the principal axis of a convex lens of 20 centimeter. The distance of the object is 30 centimeter. Calculate the distance of the image. Okay, so first of all we'll write what is given. Lens is a convex lens, then f. Focal length is 20 centimeter. Okay, now just draw a rough lens over here. Okay, where is the focus of this lens? The focus is on that side, so the focal length is positive 20 centimeter. The distance of the object from the lens is minus 30 centimeter. Object distance is always minus. Okay, we have to find the distance of the image. We have to find v. H is also given, it is 5 centimeters. To find H dash. Okay, so now we have to first find v. So using the lens formula, let's find v. Lens formula is 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. Okay, now 1 upon v is what we have to find. 1 upon f is 1 upon 20. 1 upon minus 30. Okay, so how is this solved? You have to get 1 upon v on one side. You have to write 1 upon minus 20 okay, 1 upon 20 plus 1 upon minus 30. Okay, this minus 30 remains the same. We can't change the sign because that's the convention. Okay, we have to solve this now. Minus 30 plus 20 is equals to minus 20 into 30 is 600, right? 1 upon v. Now minus 30 plus 20 is 10 upon minus 600. Okay, 1 upon v. So cancel this. 10 ones are 10, 60, right? So v is equals to 60 centimeter. So the image distance is 60 centimeter. Okay, now what you have to find? You have to find h dash, right? What is the height of the image? Magnification. Okay, height of the image, again we are doing the same relation, that is for this magnification it is v upon u is equals to h dash upon h. Okay, v is 60, we have just found. U is minus 30, h dash is what we have to find, and h is 5. Okay, so this will be 60 into 5 upon minus 30. So h dash is minus 10 centimeter. Okay, so the answer over here is minus 10 centimeter. Okay, yes, so this is done. Now next is the ray diagrams. Draw a ray diagram to show the formation of an image when the object is kept between f1 and 2f1 of a convex lens. Okay, so first of all it is of a convex lens, that is a lens. So same thing, you have to first decide which you are doing, lens or you want to do the mirror. Okay, so while drawing the lens, very important are the measurements. Here I will be drawing freehand diagrams, but you have to remember the measurements. Okay, you have to use precise measurements. So first of all, convex lens. Convex lens, first let's draw the principal axis. Okay, then draw the convex lens. This is the optical center. Okay, then the measurements. f1, f2 to f1, the distance between this should be same, to f2. Now look at what is asked. When the object is placed between f1 and 2f1, okay, between f1 and 2f1, I'll place the object over here. Okay. So we'll use the ray diagrams. When it is placed between f1 and 2f1, ray parallel to the principal axis, okay, it passes through the focus after refraction. And the second one is the ray passing through the optical center doesn't come, comes back undeviated. Okay, so this arrows to show. Now where is this point meeting? Both are meeting beyond 2f2. So the image formed is beyond 2f2. Okay, So this is the correct way of drawing the ray diagrams. You have to get the precise positions. So this is done. The next one is draw a ray diagram to show the image formation when the object is kept beyond C in a concave mirror. Okay, so now it is the mirrors. Concave mirror. The mirror is the focus, and then is the where it is kept beyond C, right? So it is beyond C over here. So we'll use the rules now. The ray of light parallel to the principal axis. After this thing, it passes to the focus. Okay. Then the second one is a ray of light crossing the center of curvature, it comes back. Okay. So when your object is placed at beyond C, the image is formed between C and F. Okay. Now very important in the ray diagrams is to draw all the measurements properly and draw all the details properly. Okay, so the ray diagrams are done. The next question is question number 33A. Complete the given electron dot structure of a nitrogen molecule by inserting the correct number of electrons. Okay. Now let us see how this is done. Question number 33. The molecule given over there is nitrogen, right? Okay, nitrogen, what is the atomic number of nitrogen? It is 7. Electronic configuration is 2, 5. And in this electron dot structure, always the last shell is represented with 5 electrons and the valency is 3, right? So when you represent the last shell, you have to show the 5 electrons. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are sharing this pair. Okay, so N, the 1, 2, 3. One pair of electron means one bond. Okay, so this is the N2 molecule. So this is how you complete the diagram. 33A. Okay, what happens when ethanol at 443 Kelvin is heated with excess concentrated sulfuric acid? Okay, now what is ethanol? Ethanol is CH3 CH2OH. Okay, when it is heated at 443 Kelvin, okay, by using H2SO4, okay, hot H2SO4, this acts as a dehydrating agent. Okay, and there is removal of one molecule of water from there. This OH is removed, okay, and this H is removed. It's together form one molecule of water. So when water is removed, what remains back is CH2, okay, so CH2 and CH2. So they already have hydrogens over here. What they need is two. To satisfy the valency, they need two more electrons. So that is shared. Okay, so it is CH2 double bond CH2. The formation, the compound is ethene. Okay, ethene. Propane is a saturated hydrocarbon. Give a reason. Why is propane called a saturated hydrocarbon? Because propane has only a single bond. It is a single bond between the carbon atoms. Okay. Okay. Mention the changes in an ovule of a flower after it undergoes a fertilization. After fertilization. Okay, change it occurs. Now the major change is that 34, the zygote develops to form an into an embryo. Okay, and after that the ovule develops a tough coating which is called then as the seed. Okay, so this is the development changes. Now distinguish between asexual and sexual type of reproduction. 2 points. Very easy. Okay, sexual reproduction involves two organisms, two individuals. Involves only one individual. Okay, and the second one is that in sexual reproduction there is more scope of variation because two individuals are involved. So more scope for variation. Over here it is no or very less scope for variation. Okay, now the next is state the type of pollination in which transfer of pollen grains occurs on the same flower. Same flower means it is self pollination.